just a really quick, interesting side note if anybody's interested. I just wrote this down in my journal to make an interesting observation and point about something I've actually talked about before, either directly or in passing, but good storytelling versus really bad storytelling. So I'll just read what I wrote here. Secret of Three Kingdoms side note. That's the drama I'm currently watching. I mentioned on the music video that I uploaded using Under the Skin and Are You Safe. I said that I was watching another drama that Tan, and I have no idea how to say his first name, Jianci. I have a guess, but as we've seen with Jaloon and Mao, I get things horribly wrong when it comes to Chinese names because of all their weirdness in pronouncing vowels. Somebody explained to me why they picked the vowels that they picked when they never follow the rules of the actual vowels. Anyway, total sidetrack. That is the one that I'm currently watching that he's in, is Secret of Three Kingdoms. Don't get me going on everything that I think of it so far. I'm literally only halfway through episode 23 out of 54. So, not talking about the show as a whole, just wanted to make the interesting side note of, I think it was in the early 20s. Like I say, I'm on episode 23 right now, and I don't remember which episode it was, where finally, Cao Pi, Tan's character, Cao Pi, somewhere in the early 20s, his expression when he reflexively killed the doctor, and when he jumped awake after dreaming that the Empress almost killed him. Finally, I feel like those are the first times that I'm really finally actually digging in to understand and know his character. There were a couple of other times, his intro, when he almost died, and when he saw the Emperor carrying the drunk Empress. But yeah, main character? And I also feel like he was set up as something that he fell from pretty fast. He's set up as a genius swordsman, and yet, his intro, when he attacked the guy that was harassing the Empress in front of his house, the guy that killed his older brother, and sort of when he almost died, all equals yes, he's a good fighter. Like, I was like, whoa, that looks so cool when he's fighting. But I suppose lying around for months recovering would take a toll on somebody, but the way the show handled it, it did not feel like that was why for what follows. Instead, it felt like that was nothing but a plot device because he's supposed to be a main character, so let's bring him along, but gosh darn it, we don't want him there, so let's knock him out for a while. He's supposed to be a genius fighter, and yet he got horribly defeated that fast/easy when the prisoner convoy was ambushed. As in, he would be dead just like that, not even a real fight, if the Emperor didn't stop them. And I knew, when it showed his face while he was being rolled over, I knew that was Cao Pi, because I recognized Tan, but in the same breath, while recognizing him, I also went almost literally blind and was like almost unable to recognize him. I had to rewind it to double, and I don't remember, did I triple check if that was actually really him? Because it was like a total cognitive dissonance moment. It cannot possibly be Cao Pi, because that is absolutely on its head dizzy different from what I've seen and been told about him so far. And that's what nonsensical, ill-handled storytelling through lazy plot devices does to people. My gosh. Like, it literally turned me blind to, like, I thought I was going nuts. I'm like, that cannot possibly be him. He must just, who is this dude that they're showing roll over? He must just kind of resemble Cao Pi, because my instantaneous reaction was that I knew that was Tan. But at the same time, I was like, that can't possibly be Tan, because, like, huh? For one thing, I didn't know he was there. For another thing, that was, like, intense spotlighting on the Emperor's part. They wanted the Emperor to be, and sorry, my hand is all of a sudden shaking. I'm holding the camera because this is a quick one. They wanted the Emperor to be the hero of that scene, literally, so they literally spotlit the Emperor, and if he hadn't at the very last second, I mean, he himself was at the very last second saved from being killed, but then he at the very last second saved Cao Pi, and I'm like, Cao Pi is supposed to be a genius fighter, like genius level. Like literally, he was said to be a genius fighter by a couple other characters a few different times, and he himself, like I say, did kind of prove it when he was first introduced and stuff. But now, in light of scenes like this one, I feel like that genius scene back there where he was first introduced, I'm like, now I feel like that's actually showing me, instead of how genius he is, it feels more like it was showing me how horrible the people he was fighting against were, like how pathetic they were, because like this scene comes along and I'm like, he's already on his back. Like, he's supposed to be a genius fighter, and I don't care if they were ambushed, and I don't care if there's a bunch of people around there with the ridiculously, insanely over-the-top, unrealistic fighting skills that people regularly have in shows like this. He was knocked flat on his back unconscious that fast. I know that being smashed in the face that way would, like, probably knock you out, and, like, actually, if he was he hitting the forehead? I guess if he was hitting the forehead, it would knock him out. If he was hitting the nose, he should have had, like, a bloody broken nose. But, like, he's literally knocked out to the point where for the next, like, half... I just had to go through how many episodes with him flat on his back, and I didn't even get to see him trying to recover in bed or anything. I barely saw him at all. Like I said, main character? Seriously? He's supposed to be a main character of this show? And I just went through all these episodes of not seeing him at all because he's flat on his back and recovering. And now finally he's back on his feet again. And almost instantly he gets like knocked flat on his back in seconds flat. Knocked flat on his back for the next how many minutes? For the next like half an episode or something. Because we want to spotlight the Emperor being the hero. And then the Emperor and the Empress having a discussion in the jail cell and all the rest of this kind of stuff. I know they're main characters too. And we need all the rest of this stuff. But Cao Pi is supposed to be a main character, and I feel like I barely know him. Like I say, whatever that was in the early 20 episodes, finally, those 2 tiny little snippets of scenes, I feel like finally I'm sort of kind of know something about Cao Pi, and I'm actually feeling some kind of connection to him. Finally, 20-something episodes into this show, and he's supposedly a main character, and then, like I say, he's like, I'm absolutely on my head dizzy, did not even recognize that was him, because I'm like, cognitive dissonance here. You're telling me that he's supposed to be a genius fighter, and yet he got knocked out that fast and easy, and literally just about died because they're killing because it's an ambush, so they killed literally everybody, and they were like, the sword was like, right here again, and he was just about killed before the Emperor said, stop, he's one of us too, and like, I'm like, excuse me? And, like, if they had handled it properly, they would have, like, referenced something about the fact that he's been on his back or, like, something. But, like, just literally, it's hard to explain what they did that made it feel like that. But literally, as I'm watching it, it felt like nothing but a plot device. Literally just a plot device. Well, they wanted to... he's supposed to be a main character, so we better bring him along. And I suppose maybe he'll play into later on because we barely started this arc. Maybe something else will happen or whatever, so they decided to bring along. He's supposed to be a main character, and we're supposed to be seeing him too. But, like, we don't actually want him here yet. We don't want to, like, have a discussion with him yet. Like, he's kind of in the way, so, like, we'll have him here, but we'll knock him out. And I kind of said everything twice over because, like, whatever. So this is all of a sudden twice as long as I expected it to be because I thought I was just going to read that and go... But there you go. I'm not even going to edit this just as a one-shot thought thing that I was doing. Don't do that, people. Don't do that, storytellers. Just don't do that. You're insulting me, the viewer, and you're insulting your characters, and you're doing so many insulting things right now because you're being so flippin' lazy in your storytelling. Anyway, that's almost 10 minutes now. Bye. Thanks for watching.